Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to brunch at my friend's house, so I am bringing you along with me. Of a little holiday party at work, I am currently in a mug painting class. So this is what I have so far. It's supposed to be like this little abstract something. We'll see how this turns out because I am not very artistic. This is the final product. The whole idea is that you do that abstract cup. So as I said, I'm not artistic, so and then the instructor said that we can put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 275 degrees, and it basically, you know, like cures the ink. And these are the what are these, the markers that I used. So I feel like I'm going to go to the dollar store and get some plain mugs and try this. So this is what I used. And let me show you. This is the company the artist is working with, the Eclectic Boutique. Let me show you. There. God. It was really cool. I think it would be a great thing to do. Even if you don't go through them, but if you do, you know, like you just purchase the items and maybe like if you have a little get together with friends, I feel like this would be perfect. So this was cute. I'm going to put it in the oven, and then I have a mug to use. This is abstract, okay? I like it. This is what I have some apples that have been sitting here for a while, and I want to use them. I didn't want to throw them away. They were actually gifted to me, but they're really tart. So they look like Macintosh apples, just based on how they look. I'm assuming that's what they are. So they are really tart. I had one and I'm like, oh, I can't just snack on them. So I'm going to make an apple pie. I got this the recipe that I'm going to be following is from a fellow YouTuber. Her YouTube page is called Natasha's Kitchen. She has a simple apple pie recipe, so that's what I'm going to be following. And then of course when I picked up my pie crust, I saw there was an apple pie recipe on the side, but I'm going to be using her recipe for like the measurements, and then of course I'll add extra stuff based on what I feel like adding. So as I said, I have this container of apples. I measured it and it came to 3.8 pounds of apples. I am going to use all of them because my apples are not in the best shape. So I'm going to I think I'm going to lose quite a bit of them, so I'm just going to use all of it. Then I have, it calls for 1 egg. This is for our egg wash. It also calls for 3 tablespoons of flour, so I have that here. Her recipe doesn't use cornstarch, so flour is our thickener. Then it also calls for 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, so I have this butter right here. So 8 tablespoons is 1 stick. It doesn't call for vanilla, but I have this vanilla essence that I'm going to be adding. It calls for cinnamon. I have some cinnamon here, but more than likely I'm going to use my pumpkin pie spice just because it has all of those nice warm spices, and I would probably have added nutmeg as well. So I'm like, let me just use my pumpkin pie spice because it has all of them already. It calls, of course, for sugar. I'm going to be including the zest of this. I think this is a lime that is now gone yellow. So I'm going to be using the zest of this. Natasha's recipe calls for her homemade pie crust. I am not making a pie crust. So I'm going to be using this Pillsbury pie crust. I got this at like my local supermarket. I bought it for $2.50. Usually when I buy these pie crusts, I would use them for something savory, maybe something with meat on the inside. But since I have it, I'm like, let me make some apple pie. This is it actually has a recipe on the side. And of course it tells you how to make it. Our butter is pretty much, it's almost melted. So the entire stick of butter is the equivalent of 8 tablespoons. So it calls for 8 tablespoons. Just melting the rest of it. And I will leave the recipe that I'm using linked below. So we have our butter. It calls for, so this is our 3 tablespoons of flour. And as I said, it in that recipe it does not use cornstarch. Our flour is our thickening agent. Just making sure it doesn't have any lumps. Okay, so I added my flour. It calls for a 1/4 cup of water. So I'm doing water and 1 cup of sugar. And then I just have to stir. Until everything has dissolved and it's nice and thick. This is not part of Natasha's recipe, but I am going to add some of my pumpkin pie spice to this. I am also going to do a little bit of my vanilla essence. Stir. I'm also going to add the zest of my, I think this is a lime, my lime to this. Going to turn it off now and just let it rest while we prep our apples. For our apples, we're just going to peel them, core them, and cut them into and slice them thinly. I'm just going to add them to my bowl. I'm thinking it's okay if they oxidize because you're not going to see them anyway. And then once they're cooked, it doesn't really matter. I have taken off the skin off of all of my apples, so I am just going to remove the core. Then I may not have perfect slices because but I'm just going to slice them. My slices may not be the thinnest, but we're going to work with what we have. I have sliced all of my apples. I got a lot, and I'm just using the same spatula that I made that little sauce with. So for Natasha's recipe, she sprinkled cinnamon, so I'm gonna do mainly cinnamon over my apples, and then I'm just going to do just a little of the pumpkin pie spice for all of those other spices. I am going to add just a splash of this vanilla essence. Give it a stir. It's gonna be good. And then she added, this is our basically the sauce that we made. I feel like this is the apple pie filling. You know, like if you're in the store, they sell it in the can. I feel this is what it reminds me of. So we have that in, and we're just going to mix this all together. And this smells, oh, it smells so good. It literally smells like an apple pie fresh out of the oven. Oh, I am starting to get excited. So this is it, coated with that mixture. This is the dish that I have. I hope it is not too shallow. I'm just going to spray it with this canola oil spray. Now I'm going to follow the instructions on the box. So according to this box, the Pillsbury box, it says that I think I'm going to use both crusts. I think I'm going to have it like this with the crust on top. So it said that you should actually bake the crust. So fold excess crust and you should bake it for 10 to 12 minutes or until light brown. So that's what I'm going to do. I had it sitting at room temperature for a while because I didn't want it to be extremely cold. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. And they said to put it down. It's like a perfect fit. So let's see. So they said slowly and gently unroll, press crust firmly against the side and bottom. Okay. Okay, let's see. And it also said that I should prick bottom and side with fork. Okay. So let's do that. We are going to put it in a, let's see, so the box said that we should do 450 degrees Fahrenheit and we should bake it for 10 to 12 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Y'all, look at our crust. So the corners slid down, which is annoying, but we're going to use it just like that. So according to the instructions on the box, it said that you should leave it for you should cool it before filling it. So I'm going to leave it on the side. My crust has been cooling for about 45 minutes. While I was waiting, I saw that Pillsbury actually has a YouTube channel, and they did an apple pie and they did not bake it before. So I'm like, Pillsbury, you're confusing me. I could have saved myself that trouble, but we are just going to keep it moving. So we have our fallen pie crust. This is what the filling looks like since it has been sitting there. Let's see if all of this can fit. I think it might be too much, but we'll see. And I tried the filling on its own. Oh, it tastes so good. I want to make sure I get apples in every single spot. I think this is good. I'm trying not, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm going to add everything. So this is all the apples that I have left. Yeah, I'm just going to add all of it. Let's hope that our crust can. Okay. I'm definitely going to put this on a baking sheet because I do not want the trouble of in my stove if this spills over. So this is what our pie looks like. I was thinking maybe to do it decorated, but I think I'm not even going to bother. So this is the other pie crust, and now it is soft. Okay. So according to Pillsbury, if I had a if my pie crust on the bottom did not fall down, then I could have like tucked it under, but since it fell, I'm going to attempt. Let's see, I think I'm just going to press it on the side and hope for the best. Let's see, because they have different designs, but of course, oh yeah, I think I'm going to tuck it under and then just press it down. These I'm going to leave the excess. Let's see. Because now I'm like, Pillsbury, I don't know what to believe anymore. So this is actually my first time using this Pillsbury dough for what it was created for, an actual pie. Yep, this is it. We are not doing fancy, we're doing nice and simple. And they also did a slit. I think I'm going to do an X. Well, somewhat of an X. And on Natasha, she actually used an egg wash. I remembered when I was doing the egg wash that I got rid of my silicone brush, so I don't have a brush. So we're going to spoon it on and hope for the best. Let's see. Let me try to do this. Y'all, real life here. Real life. Yeah, I need to replace my brush. This is our pie with our egg wash. And I'm supposed to put it in the oven for 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna take it out, and I'm supposed to put foil around the edges so that they don't burn. This is our pie. It has been in the oven now for 20 minutes. So on the Pillsbury YouTube page, they said that you should put piece of foil paper around the edges. So I saw them do this. And then they cut this. They said you should put it around the edges so the edges don't burn. So let's see. Then they cut this off. So that this. Okay. This is the end product of our apple pie. As you can see, our crust cracked. It practically separated, but it smells delicious. So even though it doesn't look that great, it smells really good. I wanted to show you the pie. This is the day after, so I did it last night. This is it. And I tasted some of the filling. The filling is really good. I think it's just, I don't know what happened with the crust. I'm gonna try it and see how it is. I tried a bit of the crust though. To me, it's a little salty, which is really weird because I feel like I've used this crust before. So I'm gonna try it and see. This is what it looks like. I tried it. It's really good. The filling is really good. It's not too sweet. I would say if I were to make it again, I would not bake the crust ahead of time, or I'll make my own crust. But it's really good. Like the flavor is there. It's just my crust that kind of fell apart. But the one on the bottom and like part of the side is still good. But the flavor is definitely on there.